While every place on Earth is distinct, there are a select few that are truly extraordinary. Some areas are amazingly more unusual than others. Some communities have even set Guinness World Records for their peculiar characteristics. There are places where there are more animals than people, underground settlements, and communities where everyone resides under one roof. Here is a list of the world's most unusual towns around the world. 1. Coober Pedy, Australia. Coober Pedy is a small town located in the Australian outback, and it is truly like nowhere else on Earth. For starters, Coober Pedy is internationally known as the opal capital of the world. The majority of the world's opals are produced in this small hamlet of roughly 2,500 people. Additionally, it is the only town in Australia that is completely underground. This is because the climate is so hellishly hot and dry that residents have to live underground to stay cool. The town is also home to 2 gas stations, a post office, 2 grocery stores, a liquor store, several small shops and restaurants, and underground hotels. Even the town's places of worship are underground. From the red desert sands to the eerie moon-like terrain, Coober Pedy is truly a sight to behold. 2. Hallstatt, China. From Disney World to Las Vegas, China is a master at replicating the things that it enjoys from all around the world. Hallstatt, a historic village in Austria, was meticulously recreated in China down to the detail in 2012 at the cost of $940 million. Although the real estate is more expensive, Hallstatt, China is an exact replica of the town in Austria. Due to its amazing imitation, it draws visitors from all around the world. 3. Negro Japan. The tiny village of Nagoro is known today as the Village of the Dolls. It is home to about 350 life-size dolls. Nagoro had roughly 300 residents, but as a result of increasing urbanization and Japan's declining population, there were fewer than 30 residents left in the hamlet, rendering it a ghost town. Local artist Tsukimi Ayano began to replace the residents of Nagoro who departed or passed away with life-sized replicas made of straw and used clothing when the city's population abruptly decreased to combat loneliness. The realistically posed dolls are everywhere across the village. There is a documentary titled The Valley of Dolls, which explores Tsukimi's world and delves into her motivations behind creating the dolls and also showcases the time and skill required to create the dolls. 4. Matmata, Tunisia. Matmata is a small town located in the south of Tunisia. Unlike most towns in the region, it is built entirely underground. The dwellings are constructed around man-made craters that are 5 to 10 meters deep with doors and windows on the steep sides facing the crater. These craters resemble a Roman patio or atrium. Today, Matmata is a popular tourist destination, and its underground troglodyte cave dwellings have become part of its unique charm. This may be the place for you to visit if you're a Star Wars fan. It was Hotel Sidi Driss in Matmata that was featured in the film as Luke Skywalker's home on the planet Tatooine. 5. Whittier, Alaska. The town of Whittier, which is 60 miles southeast of Anchorage, has 80% of the population living under the same roof in a 14-story structure that was once a military barracks. The military constructed the barracks during the Cold War. The Alaska Railroad took over once the military departed and now controls practically all of the livable land, which is why locals are unable to buy property in Whittier. The structure known as Beach Towers houses a hospital, a police station, and a convenience store. There is only one tunnel that can be used to enter or exit the town, and it opens twice a day, closing at night and opening again the next day. The Inn at Whittier, a motel and restaurant that overlooks Prince William Sound, is popular with both residents and numerous adventure-seeking travelers from across the world. 6. Chefchaouen, Morocco. This picturesque city located in the Rif Mountains is unlike any other place on Earth. The entire city is painted in various shades of blue, making it a photographer's dream come true. There are a number of theories as to why Chefchaouen is blue. Some believe it was painted blue by Jews who fled Hitler's Germany, others say it was done to keep mosquitoes away, and others say it simply depicts the color of the sea. It's unclear which narrative is correct, but it appears to have worked out well for Chefchaouen. as the town has a charming appeal with its blue hue. 7. Juscar, Spain. This small town in southern Spain was once your typical Andalusian village. That is, until 2011, when the entire town was painted blue by Sony Pictures to promote the release of the Smurfs movie. The concept of painting the town blue was initially not well received by the residents, but by the time the terms of the contract and the financial arrangements were settled, the village council unanimously approved the project. Additionally, Sony pledged to repaint the buildings after the promotion was over. When Sony returned to repaint the town in 2012, they were startled to discover that the residents had voted to preserve the new blue color. The decision was made in part because of the incredible increase in the number of tourists visiting the community after it was painted blue. Now known as the Blue Village, Juscar is a must-see for anyone visiting Andalusia. Even if you're not a fan of the Smurfs, the blue buildings are incredibly photogenic. 8. Svalbar, Norway. The archipelago is situated north of mainland Europe, about midway between Norway and the North Pole. It is the world's northernmost settlement, with a population of just over 2,000 people. Polar bears, known as the kings of the Arctic, outnumber the human population on Svalbar. Since polar bear sightings are very common, packing heat is required. Longyearbyen is the only settled area of the island, and when you leave the settlement, you are required by law to carry a gun or be escorted by someone with a gun. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect is that locals are not permitted to die or give birth in Longyearbyen. The incredibly frigid year-round Arctic climate prevents dead bodies from decomposing, and as a result, the one cemetery on the island ceased accepting burials more than 70 years ago. The town's residents are obligated by law to not die on the island. If one does die on the island, the body must be flown or shipped to mainland Norway. Lastly, the circle of life doesn't exist this far north. Just as residents aren't allowed to die on the island, one can't be born on Longyearbyen. There is no maternity unit or hospital on the island. A pregnant woman must travel to mainland Norway weeks in advance to give birth. Which of these unusual towns will you visit?